God said, go outside. He went outside, and the Lord said, look up at the stars. He said, if you can count them, as many stars as are there, that's how many children you're going to have. This is a man who was really cursed. He had no children. And in those days, if you didn't have children, you were cursed, because you were blessed by the number of seed that you had. So here's a man who, for all intents and purposes, was cursed. He didn't have nothing, because if you didn't have no children, you didn't have nothing. You didn't have nothing. You know, he had no place to call his own. And he really had to fight. If you study his life, he had to fight even for what he ate. He was a scavenger. He didn't have people bringing him food. He didn't have servants at that time or anything. And God said, go outside, and all the stars you see, you can count them. You're going to have that many children. He heard, he saw, he believed against all odds. Now, here's how you know whether he believed it. His belief turned to faith, and his faith made it come to pass. Everybody in this room claim they got faith, but your faith ain't bringing nothing to pass. You claim you got faith, but your faith is not producing anything. And it's all because of the way you think about what you say you believe. And some of you, in the next few weeks, I intend to make mad. And I want to make you mad enough to change the way you think. I don't care who you get mad at. You can get mad at me. Long as you getting mad at me will just be another unproductive thought. You can go home mad at me, waste all that energy, another unproductive thought. Getting mad at yourself will be another unproductive thought. Saying, who does she think she is? I'm being who I'm called to be. I'm called to charge you to get mad at the way you think enough to say, what do I need to change in my thinking pattern so it can line up so I can have what I say I believe? See, because your faith, if you allow it, will bring to pass what it's supposed to. Catch this, catch this, catch this, catch this. Your faith will bring you all the money you need and then some without you doing anything to get it. If you really believe you're supposed to have it. Your faith doesn't need you to work. Your faith needs you to believe. Your faith doesn't need you to work. Your faith needs you to believe. Your faith needs you to work at believing. That's what your faith needs you to work at. Believing. In other words, your faith needs you to believe or give God permission to do what he said he's going to do. Your faith needs you to give God permission to do what he said he's going to do. And that means in the meantime, some things are going to show up that are going to look like. Now, from the time, let me jump to the end. The children of Israel were promised the promised land. How come it took them 40 years to get somewhere that it should have taken them 11 days to get? It was an 11-day journey that took them 40 years to get there. It was an 11-day journey that took them 40 years to get there. How long you been believing God to come out of debt? Let me mess with you. Suppose I told you was 11 days away from being out of debt. The principal was 11 days. You 11 days away from your miracle, but you don't really believe what you say you believe. So we keep walking around in the wilderness of our mind, saying we believe it and deceiving ourselves that we believe in it and making excuses why it don't show up. And let me tell you the first three things the Lord told me to tell you tonight. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop beating yourself up for what's wrong in your life. And number three, find a way to bring joy to someone else, and you'll reap the harvest in your own life. Number one, stop comparing. These are three things you can do immediately. Stop comparing yourself to anybody else. Number two, stop beating yourself up for anything that's wrong in your life. You're going to see how hard this is. And number three, find a way to bring joy to someone else, and you'll reap the harvest in your life. Today he told me some of us can't change because changing would be an admission of failure or weakness, when in reality, admitting our need to change or improve is really a sign of life and strength. God told the Apostle Paul, "My grace is sufficient for you, and my power is perfected in your weakness." God's power begins when our strength ends. When we become dependent on Him, we acknowledge our need, and His power shows up. To accomplish this, we have to surrender the old way of thinking by changing the direction of our thoughts. Yeah, your thoughts have a direction. They're called mental habits. And we have to start changing our mental habits. What is a mental habit? A mental habit is the way you feel about what you do. And you have to start purposefully changing the way you feel about what you do, or the way you feel about when someone says something to you that you like or don't like. You know, we get a feeling. When someone says something that we like, we get a feeling. Stop living on your feelings. I'm just talking to the people that want to change right now. I'm just talking to the people that want to stay like you are. Y'all just catch this and sit here and smile. But the people that want to change right now, I'm telling you, you got to stop living on your feelings, whether good or bad. See, because the enemy trips you up. He done made you think some things feel good that are really bad. He done made you think that some people that, ooh, that's a pretty orange top. And people be saying that to you and they laughing at you. I'm not. It is a pretty orange top. But the point is, you have to know it's a pretty orange top if don't nobody say it's a pretty orange top. You can't feel what nobody, you can't care what nobody says about the top. It doesn't matter if nobody notices the top. In other words, your feeling is not contingent on nobody else. I got on the top God led me to put on. I'm wearing it the way God led me to wear it. This is what I'm supposed to have on. Me and God is pleased with it. Don't matter whether nobody else sees it. He who has begun a good work in me is perfecting something in me. I don't even understand why I'm wearing the top, but it's the one he wants me to wear.